something that's really been on my mind lately, right?
Uh-huh.
My man Motar from above the rim, right? Ja Morant, right?
Oh man.
I would know. I saw this clip. It was this clip, and I'm like, this reminds me of Ja Morant. Let me see if I can play it.
Okay, go ahead.
A-Rap,
A-Rap,
pass
pass
me
me
the
the
pistol.
pistol.
Bam, I look through the door. I see like 3-4 niggas running through the crib, all black, mask on, running through the crib and shit. One nigga run to the front door. I hop out, I start shooting. Bow, 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 bow. Shot the nigga. Bow, shot his ass. Bow, 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 bow.
Like just the animation of like that Soldier Boy clip, right? What is going on with Ja Morant, man?
Oh man, let's I think for the viewers, I think it's probably best if we let's try to like find. I think it's best if we try to even
Yeah.
I'm gonna try to find the clip,
Roll the
right?
clip.
Right. Let's roll the clip for everyone. Let's go ahead and roll the clip. Roll the clip. All right. Let's go ahead. Roll the clip. All right, we can stop
Yeah.
it there. We can stop it there.
One, but I'm gonna let you go. But I don't listen to much NBA YoungBoy, but that one song right there that bring him out, I really like that song.
Yeah, that song
I
is
really
that
like
song is
this.
hard. I'm not gonna lie, that song is hard. So I gotta ask you. I mean, we seen the video for the viewers. You've seen the video. What are your thoughts? One, do you think that his suspension was warranted? And two, do you feel like people's perception and bias towards John Morant trying to quote unquote act thuggish? Do you think is do you think that is warranted, right? Or do you think they maybe it's just who he is, right? What are your thoughts on those 2 points?
Do I think the suspension is warranted? I'm gonna say yes
Okay.
because, and I think it's more so just to him showing that he just doesn't give a damn, right? Because you already had the allegations previously about him, like him and his crew aiming the lasers at the other team or the other staff. You remember that those allegations?
Yeah.
So it was like you knew that was out there. The thing came out about him beating up the teenager. So it's like, it's like you're walking on thin ice. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure Memphis is probably behind the scenes fighting for him, trying to just, dissolve all this.
Yeah.
And then now you come do this. So you really just don't care. And I think the suspension came from the team, right? It didn't come from the league. Like
I believe, yeah, I think it
I
came
think
from
the
the
league
team.
is
I could be wrong.
investigating.
I know
I
they're
think,
doing an investigation, but they did suspend him, and I believe the team
yeah.
suspended him, and then they're going
Okay.
through an investigation.
And I think that's warranted because I think you're just like wilding, and I really don't know what's going on with him. And then the thing like you mentioned about like like the perception of him wanting to be a thug, I don't know what he wants to be, but I can see that being true, right? And one thing I always say is like there's people are always infatuated with other people's lives and travels, right? Because if you were in the hood for real, you want to get out, you want to be a ball player, you want to make M's, you want to have your dad courtside,
Mm-hmm.
your daughter running all up and down the court. Like that's the dream if you're in the hood, right? You
Right.
want to get out. But then the people who are out, they have like this infatuation of not necessarily going back, but getting some kind of taste of what it's like. You know what I'm saying? I don't know John Moran's history. I didn't grow up with him. I just saw when they said that, he comes from like a dual parent household,
Mm-hmm.
went to private school. Obviously, he got a basketball scholarship. Now he was the number 2 draft pick, went to the league. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like he comes from some kind of stability. So whatever is happening with him right now, I think it's just like the fame. The fame is just hitting him hard. He has fame. He has money.
Mm-hmm.
So he was listening to NBA YoungBoy, right, which is fine. But sometimes it just reminds me of basketball players wanting to be rappers.
Mm-hmm.
And then so I could have just watched the video, got real hyped up off a song, and just like you're infatuated with the culture. You want to feel closer to that culture that you maybe have never lived, been a part of. But I think he's tripping, like all the way. He's tripping.
Yeah. So, my point of view in the situation is, well, my opinion on the situation is that, yeah, I do think that he needs to be mindful that not only is he an NBA player, right? And when you're an NBA player, you have to be very mindful of what you do,
Mhm.
right? Perception, plays a big part in who you are as an NBA player, especially when you're talking about endorsements, who you influence, right? Now if you were a rapper, right? Rappers, this is a way of them just kind of,
Mhm.
lavishing or brandishing their lifestyle, right? So they can. So I think John Morant's in between that phase of rap culture, right, and NBA culture, right? And there's
Yeah.
like an overlap sometimes. You see it happen with some of these NBA players. Like you see even the story with James Harden, him going like he had that video, like, yeah, I had to, go to the studio with Meek Mill, Dirk, and Lil Baby. I had to see what they were doing. So like sometimes I think when you have that overlap, you can kind of see these situations really come about. You know, yeah, John Morant should take accountability in terms of just like, come on, you posting a gun, you should know as an NBA player, you know what that comes with, right? And you
Gilbert
should
Arenas.
definitely. You said what?
Gilbert Arenas.
Oh my God, Gilbert Arenas' locker room, yeah, right. Like he trying to he trying to be like Gilbert Arenas, like, but like you and then like you said, I think it's just the events that happened prior to that
Mhm.
is now adding, to people's perception of who you are, John Morant. Now the second point, I don't know if the general public's view of John Morant is warranted in a way, right?
Mhm.
Because I think there's a narration or there's a narrative out there that he's not really about that life because he's doing X, Y, and Z,
Mhm.
right? But I think that people are just kind of looking at it. Is nuances to this, right? So if a
Right.
person is doing something because we don't know John Morant in his previous lifestyle, right? We like you mentioned, he may have lived with two parents, but I've known people in the hood that lived with two parents and they
Right.
still was hanging around friends doing,
Mhm.
idiotic things, right? Like doing not so smart things in the neighborhood, right? So sometimes, you coming from a two-parent household, yes, it will prevent you from going to prison statistically, right? But at the end of the day, you may engage in behavior, in the streets that may not be kind of the best thing for you or your future. So I
Mhm.
don't know if that's something that he's been doing based off the people who he was hanging around. So I don't want to say this is just new behavior that he's developed since he became an NBA player. And I
Yeah.
think that's where people are kind of like starting to go with this narrative, like, oh, he want to be gangster so bad, he's becoming a new person. We don't really know that. We don't. The only thing we can say for sure is he is starting to do things that's really impacting and jeopardizing his career as an NBA player. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So that's
For
just
sure.
my take on this situation. And it clearly shows that he clearly don't care. Like he has to be an idiot to post a video with a gun and and I hope it's registered. It might be registered to him. For all we know. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It
Yeah.
might be
But
registered to him. Who knows? But I
but
think
as
he's brandishing it
right.
on Instagram live is crazy.
Yeah, but as we know, like even if it's registered, it's not necessarily that he did something illegal. It's just about for them
Yeah.
what perception
Perception.
is, right? Because obviously I'm not going to go there, but we seen someone get suspended for a Amazon link, right? So for them, it's all about perception.
Yep.
So if whatever their perception is of this video that he put out isn't the perception they want to see, then this is like what's going to happen. But why I think it's just like also ridiculous is they're number 2 in the West. Sacramento's not far behind. Phoenix Suns look like they have some momentum right now.
100%.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Basketball should come first. Just you
Mhm.
need to focus on that. Like, your team needs you. You need to be there
Mhm.
for them. You know what I'm saying? So I don't really agree with it. I hope he gets it together. Not that I see Memphis Grizzlies winning the championship or anything, but you guys are number 2. I think they were like number 2 last year. So it's like, like it's a team to be at least conscious of.
100%.
Yeah,
100%.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah,
and
yeah.
I think that's probably the biggest part. The biggest takeaway from this is what he's doing off the court is impacting his team and what they can potentially do on the court, right?
Yeah.
Especially since he's even putting up what career numbers this year too. So at the end of the day, it's like, come on, just got to do better, And as much as we don't like it, perception matters, especially as a one of the best point guards in the league, right?
Mhm.
Because it's all about how you're being viewed, right? So, the NBA wouldn't like, you being perceived in a certain light that's impacting not only their money, but amongst other things. So yeah, that when I seen that, I was like, oh man, I was like, ah. Ja Morant,
Yeah.
man. Here we go again.
I think that's the topics we wanted to hit. So I think we can go ahead and wrap up this session. But we definitely got more coming, more topics to come about, whether it's boxing, UFC, basketball, football, real life, music. So stay tuned for what comes next. Definitely like, comment, subscribe. Yeah, 2 cents short of a dollar.
2 cents short of a dollar. Make sure y'all stay tuned. Subscribe.